It is that time. It is time for the year review. Yvette Sojourner here. Yvette Sojourner here. Hello. Welcome. Listen, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. How else is all this goodness going to be spread across the YouTubeverse and the interweb? This is a space and a place where luxury meets authenticity. I cannot believe I am getting ready to do this video. Listen to me. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this is happening, because that means that a year has passed, okay? I am just in disbelief about this. Today, I am going to do a review of my Picotin 18. It is that time. It is time for the year review. And I just cannot believe it. I got this bag. This was my very first Hermes bag. And I got this last year at the beginning of the year. It's February 2023 is when I got this bag. When I was offered this bag, okay, I did not anticipate anything at the time. Because I felt that I needed to do more. I needed to do so much more than what I was doing, and it was more than what I was able to do. So when my SA reached out and let me know she had this particular bag, I was on it. I mean, I was so excited. Let me explain to you why. We were preparing to go to France, and this was after the pandemic. So it had been a while since we had visited France. And honestly, we ended up going right before the pandemic began and purchasing a house, our retirement home, getting engaged. Okay, and then the pandemic happened. So we just opted not to travel. So last year when we decided it was time, I decided this. I told Hubs I had to get out of here. I had to get out this house, out this country. That's how I was feeling at that moment. Like I had to do something with my life. That aside. I was in search of a black bag because I did not have one. I had my Hermes Kelly 32 in Cellier, but that was a vintage piece, and I knew for sure I was going to take that piece, and it has gold hardware in comparison to palladium. But I wanted something that was black, easy to carry, something that would elevate my style and would easily pair with pretty much anything that I would toss on, especially because I knew I would be roaming around Paris. This is what I do when I travel. I like to go and get lost. Not literally get lost, but get lost and roam around. And that is what I do every time I'm in Paris. So I kept all these things in mind, and I informed my essay. Of course, at the time, I did create a wish list. This was not on my wish list, but a black bag, palladium hardware. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more than this. I just could not ask for anything more than this. At the time, I was very excited about this bag. And I have to say, carrying it in Paris was phenomenal, especially going to the Hermes. Now, I went to the Hermes with the Kelly 32, and that was nice. I felt really, really sleek and put together, but that bag is big. This was so comfy to me. This was just a perfect matching at the time. I roamed the Louvre with it. I went down to the French cafe to have crepes and coffee and lattes and pizza. I did all kinds of things with this bag. So while I was there, yes, I carried my Kelly 32. I was offered a Birkin 30. I did carry that as well, but I definitely carried this one as well. And it complimented me perfectly and my wardrobe. So let's get into this bag. I can say this bag is a very nice weight. It's not too heavy. You know, in comparison to the Birkin and the Kelly, which is heavy. These are heavy bags. This bag is not, and I really believe it's because it is that one piece of leather through and through, basically. So if you can see in there, it's just one strip of leather. Outside of the handles, which seems to be, double leather, and the strip down the middle, this piece, so the accent pieces, it's just one piece of leather, and that is amazing. And of course, outside of the base, it helps when it comes to the actual weight. It helps tremendously when it comes to the weight. I had no issues carrying this bag. I actually preferred it, even though I know some people are concerned with the fact that, you could potentially, someone could put their hand in there. But honestly, the way I carried it, and I carried it on the subway and walked around for hours, I had no issue because this lock is pretty secure. The other thing is, because I use pouches, if someone were to do that, it would be hard for them to be able to pull anything out because the pouch is there. It was very seamless, and the weight of the lock helped tremendously. I do not remove the lock. I like the way it looks, and I do tote it this way instead of with the lock facing outward when I'm out and about, just for security reasons. But yeah, this is the perfect bag. I don't even have to remove the lock to get in there and get the things that I need out. I simply prefer to leave it on. All in all, this was the perfect first bag for me. Now, how did it hold up over time? It has held up very well. Now, mind you, I do not carry this bag as often. I'm learning things about myself when it comes to this bag. How has it held up though? Perfectly. I've had no issues. The leather has relaxed a bit, but outside of that, I don't notice any big or huge differences. I do still love the fact that it has these little feet because it does protect it when you put it down somewhere. And those have aged very beautifully, especially under the circumstance. It's been a year. I believe this bag is definitely underappreciated. I know it's a non-quota bag, but I feel that it's just such a key piece, and it's so versatile. And I really truly believe that more people should be talking about it. Even now, they definitely should. I'm unsure if there's been any changes to the Picotin itself when it comes to Hermes. I do know that since getting mine, they did introduce a mini bag. I've had several subscribers talk about how they've gotten a mini bag in various types of leather, and I was just amazed at the fact that they are appreciating them. I have not seen it in the mini size. This is just the perfect size for me. I would be interested in at least seeing it because then I can experience it firsthand. But yeah, I really think that a mini size would also be a great fit. Not for me personally, but I really think a mini bag would be so cute. This used to be my daily bag. Then I quickly shifted once I got the Evelyn and Guetta. And that is because this bag requires me to put it on my arm. The issue with that is I can't really be truly hands-free. And I like a bag that has a shoulder strap because then I can do crossbody and just go about my business, and it doesn't even exist anymore in my mind. It's just a part of me then. This bag, on the other hand, it's it's funny because I have Birkins, and this is not applicable to my Birkins. I'm okay with, toting my Birkins this way, but this particular bag is just not one that I gravitate towards any longer. And it is because of the fact that for a daily bag, I need something that does have a shoulder strap. I know people have used scarves to create a shoulder strap, and there's a system you can purchase to add a shoulder strap to it. I prefer not to do that, just like I prefer not to put any type of charms or anything of the sort on my bags. Now, I mentioned this before. I keep repeating myself, but I'm just going to say this is just the perfect everyday bag. When it comes to different events and occasions, I would carry this bag if I didn't have other options. For example, I noticed when I was at the Hermes event, there were several women carrying this bag, and I was blown away. I was actually excited because it's like, okay, yes, this is the perfect event for this bag. And it's nice to see people actually carrying it and using it. It's not to say that I don't. I do. It's just rare that I will grab this bag because now I have the other bags that are actually more fitting for my lifestyle. This one is still perfect. And I'm going to tell you what my biggest qualm is when it comes to this bag. I definitely would not carry this bag to a formal event. That's just me. That's all I can say. I just wouldn't. This would not be my top choice for a formal event. So now let me tell you what my qualm is with this bag. I am not a fan of a bucket bag. Listen to me. Had I not been offered this bag and purchased this bag, I would not know that about myself. I can't tell you why. I just can't. I can't tell you why. I am not a bucket bag person. The other thing is, and I know I was praising this bag because of its weight, but the other thing is, I like a bag with weight. I prefer a bag with handles that has a little weight to it. And I don't know. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre conundrum that I find myself in. I don't know why that is, but this is what I've learned about myself when it comes to this bag. And I have to say, this is why I appreciate this bag, because I've learned so much about myself after I got this bag. I evolved when I was offered this bag and I got there because I had to drive down. I accepted this bag not because it was something that I was just going to accept. I accepted this bag because it was checking the boxes of what I was looking for and needing at the time. The thing is, this helped me to evolve. By the time I got to Paris, France, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I was not willing to settle for anything less than what I wanted. So because of this bag, it helped me become more confident in who I was. Without this bag, I would not have been able to really figure out and distinguish what it was I was looking for and wanting, if that makes sense. I knew going in that even though I loved this leather, it was not going to be like at the very top of my list, because of the fact that I can't explain what it is. So I think it's because it's so soft and supple in comparison to like a Togo. So when I first got this bag helped me to actually become more confident in knowing what it was I was wanting, and also reevaluating my wish list to align with what I was wanting and needing at the time. Now, as far as maintenance, I have no real suggestions or recommendations. I know this bag, when I got it, did not come with a dust bag. So I just leave it sitting on my shelf as is. But I do put a little bubble pieces in it. That's what came with it. So I've just left it in there. It helps it maintain its shape a little better. But outside of that, I have not had to do much of anything with this bag. The only other recommendation I have when it comes to this bag is to make sure it's not in direct sunlight. So the way I store it, because it does not have a dust bag at all, I make sure that when I stow it, it is not in direct sunlight, even though it is on a shelf in my room. I have not had to have anything professionally done with this bag since I received it, and it could be because of the fact that, you know, it's not my everyday bag, right? So yeah, it's in mint condition ultimately. And it's been a year. I just can't believe it. You know, it's the memory that is associated with getting this bag. I mean, I cannot even express how it felt getting the message and then having, you know, the offer. You know, even though it's a non-quota bag, it's still, there's something, it's just special. It's just, it's a special moment, regardless if it was a quota or a non-quota bag. It was a very special moment because it was my first, and I cannot have that experience of the first again, right? So just thinking back on it and how excited I was, it just makes me smile all over again. So just to reflect on that moment, being offered this bag was definitely a gift, and it was an amazing milestone, right? Especially if you're really wanting to experience Hermes and go through that, it was a big milestone for me. I believe that if I had been offered a quota bag the day that I was offered this instead, if I was offered a quota bag, I would have potentially just accepted anything they gave me. Anything they presented to me, I would have been like, yes, yes. I've already touched on this, but getting this bag before the quota bag really did make a difference for me. It made a tremendous difference because it did really help me to distinguish between what I wanted and what I didn't want. It helped me distinguish between what I wanted and what I didn't want. Be selective. And as I said previously, not to settle. I know, it's just a bag, but it was a big milestone for me. And this bag has been through some things with me, and I really do appreciate this bag. I cannot believe it's been a year. I just can't. Let me tell you about price increase. I know many of you are probably fully aware that Hermes had price increase recently, both in the US and in Europe. And I know many may be aware when it comes to the quota bags because that's the majority of the time what people are focused on. But there was also a price increase when it came to non-quota bags, and the Picotin is one of those non-quota bags. This bag now costs $3,300, okay? A Picotin 18, that has gone up 9%. So now you know that yes, there has been a price increase when it comes to the Picotin as well. So I think that is all I really have to say. I have no real complaints when it comes to this bag. It served me well. And I still am holding on to it as far as my wardrobe because I have a feeling that I will be reaching for this bag in the near future. But for now, I will keep it and we'll see what happens. It has been a fabulous bag for me. I cannot complain at all. I only have positive things to say when it comes to this bag. I have not had to do much when it comes to maintenance. It's just an easy bag. I don't know. With the Quota, it's different. It's not as easy as a bag, and I think it's because it's so structured. This one isn't as structured, so it's just an easy bag to have. Yeah, I think that is it, and thank you for joining me. Until next time.